free college.
What is going on? It's the Americans All For Recap. Now we have a lot of news to get to this week. We continue this week with escalations with Iran. Trump talked over this week that he didn't want war but would do it if needed. Kamala Harris is also saying that it's Trump's fault for this tension right now.
There is no question in my mind that the current occupant of the White House, President Trump, put in place a series of events that led to that event.
How would a President Harris fix the problem?
Well, frankly, I believe that we need to get back into the Iran nuclear deal.
Speaking of Trump, he has also backed down from deporting millions of immigrants. He has now said that Democrats have to plan out a deal with them to make that happen. Which, in all honesty, I don't know how we're going to make some sort of deal with Democrats saying that we can deport millions of immigrants. Bernie Sanders, who is now competing for attention, has also come out saying that students need to be completely forgiven over student debt.
I declare bankruptcy!
Cortez, who apparently minored in economics, stated that poor people should pay for the middle class to go to college.
I have student loans too. And I think it's so funny. A year ago, I was waiting tables in a restaurant, and it was literally easier for me to become the youngest woman in American history elected to Congress.
Have you heard of gravity? If you haven't, then you're taking advantage of it. We are running out of gravity. I noticed this when I started running, and then soon after, I started losing my breath.
Bernie has also called that even illegal immigrants should get health care.
We will organize the American people around the concept that all people in this country have the right to health care, and at the end of the day, we are going to win that struggle.
Senator, would you include the 11 million undocumented immigrants in that?
Absolutely.
Pete Buttigieg has also faced some criticism this week. If you don't know what happened, pretty much a African American was being reported on for robbing some cars, and when the police came, they reported that he had a knife and they shot him.
Did you just ask me if Black Lives Matter? Of course, Black Lives Matter. Then fire your cops!
What can you say to me that'll comfort me that I'm finna get justice for my child?
It seems that in America today, pretty much everyone should get free money. Apparently, Elizabeth Warren is now saying that gay people should get reparations. Why, you may ask? Because Warren stated that because gay marriage wasn't legal about a decade ago, gay couples had to file separate taxes, which made them pay more money. Trump has also now put sanctions on Iran.
Iran leadership doesn't understand the words ice or compassion. They never have.
On Wednesday, the Republican-led Senate passed a $4.6 billion bill to address the migrant crisis at the southern border. Robert Mueller will testify before Congress on July 17th. In all honesty, he made a 400-page document about this whole Russia investigation, so I don't know what else he could say that will make the Democrats happy. The big story of the night was the debate between Cory Booker, Beto O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Jan Lindsay, John Delaney, Bill de Blasio, and Tim Ryan. Most of these people outside Warren had pretty much no support at all. Most of the debate was honestly about as fun as stepping on a Lego, because they just went through the same basic spiel about healthcare is a right, how abortion is a right, and that we should choose a woman as a candidate because she's a woman.
We do not talk enough about trans Americans, especially African-American trans Americans.
All the American citizens out there who feel you're falling behind, who feel the American dream's not working for you, the immigrants didn't do that to you. The big corporations did that to you.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan? Just a show of hands to start off with.
American people deserve a president who will put your interests ahead of the rich and powerful. That's not what we have right now.
When you've got a government, when you've got an economy that does great for those with money and isn't doing great for everyone else, that is corruption, pure and simple. We need to call it out. We need to attack it head on.
When we weren't in there, they started flying planes into our buildings. So I'm just saying right now,
the Taliban didn't attack us on 9/11. Al-Qaeda did.
Well, I understand.
Al-Qaeda attacked us on 9/11.
I understand.
That's why I and so many other people joined the military to go after Al-Qaeda, not the Taliban.
My favorite part was when Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker competed with each other to speak Spanish. I honestly just wish that they would just start arguing in Spanish completely for the rest of the debate.
Necesitamos incluir cada persona en el éxito de esta economía. Pero si cada votante necesitamos la situación ahora es inaceptable. Este presidente ha atacado, ha demonizado los inmigrantes. Es inaceptable y voy a cambiar este.
Congresista O'Rourke, ¿qué haría usted en el primer día, si usted es presidente, sobre esta realidad que está ocurriendo?
Me llamo Julián Castro y estoy postulando por presidente de los Estados Unidos.
I was shocked that Warren didn't try and speak Cherokee. Amigo que sigue siendo mejor que el mío. It seemed that the only winner of the debate was the Republicans, because Democrats just went on and on about how far left-leaning they are. Obama wasn't mentioned pretty much at all that night, which kind of shows that the party, or at least the far-left party, has pretty much just disowned him. There was also some strange moments. You know, we have Julian Castro saying that men should have abortion funding. We also have Bill de Blasio saying that we should elect him because he is raising a black kid. So it's safe to say that that was a massive train wreck.
Hey Twitter world, it's me, yours truly, sitting at my house waiting to watch this debate, to hear a bunch of people who think they're capable of running our country. It should be interesting because, to be honest, I don't know most of these guys, but I'm interested to hear what they have to say, and I think every American should be watching this. So I guess we got about 38 minutes to go, so won't be long now. Take care.
So on Thursday was the next debate, and pretty much it was a lot more interesting. We first start off with even more Spanish.
Noches, gracias de invitarnos.
Gusto en verlo, caballero.
It seemed clear that everyone was just laying ham on Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg. It turned into a he said, she said singing that would rival a high school cafeteria at this point.
On this issue, we have to think about how this affects real people and the reality of...
Senator Harris, I'm so sorry. We will let all of you speak. Senator Harris.
Hey guys, you know what? America does not want to witness a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their table. Yeah?
I was 6 years old when a presidential candidate came to the California Democratic Convention and said, it's time to pass the torch to a new generation of Americans. That candidate was then Senator Joe Biden. He's still right today.
As part of Joe's generation, let me respond.
Before we move on
the issue, if I may say, is not generational.
Please.
The
Senator
issue is not generational. The issue is who has the guts to take on Wall Street.
Will ensure that this microphone that the President of the United States holds in her hand is used in a way that is about reflecting the values of our country.
My community is in anguish right now because of an officer-involved shooting. A black man, Eric Logan, killed by a white officer. And I'm not allowed to take sides until the investigation comes back. The officer said he was attacked with a knife, but he didn't have his body camera on.
So you should fire the chief.
So under Indiana law, this will be investigated, and there will be accountability for the officer involved.
When you're the mayor, you should fire the chief.
In this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist, but I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. You also worked with them to oppose busing. You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racist. That is not true. Number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign litigated on who supports civil rights and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that.
Kamala Harris was obviously the one that shined the most in this debate. Pretty much everyone on that stage has supported giving healthcare to illegal immigrants. Pete Buttigieg also had a strange moment. He said that if you don't support his policies, then you're not a true Christian. It's a little weird coming from the person who supports killing babies, but alright. Well, that's all news for this week. I'm Stephen Hall, and this is the Americans All For Recap.